that you are tired and you
Let's
now
tell
want
the
to go.
overflow.
Thank you, Baba, for this opportunity. You talked about, there's something that you said. You said if you make a decision today that you want to kill your disease, you walk out of this place without that disease.
Yeah.
When you spoke about that, the question that came to me is, what is the formula for me to connect to the eternity that God has put in me, so that when I make a decision, immediately I can see results or I can execute that which I have decided on? Is there some kind of activation
Yes.
that I should do or steps that I should take?
Okay. Like what disease, for instance? Not your disease, any disease. Any disease. Give me a disease.
For example, I struggle with period pain.
Okay.
So I want to know that what steps should I take so that I can make a decision. When I make a decision and I lose that disease, how can I connect to the eternity that God is put in me?
And she's calling it a period pain. It's pain that is attached to a period. It's periodically. So there is a time when it's not there. It's a time-sensitive disease. Somebody was, who else? I would deal with that, and I'll tell you how to. Diabetes? Huh? I can't hear you. Huh? That's what it is.
Fibroids, prophet, I have fibroids. I'm due for an operation.
Okay, the AP disease is really difficult. Cancer. Woman, abasana cancer out and not cancer.
Someone doesn't worry about
Taura
cancer.
chako
says
cha
that
wina
it's
shotu
not
wona.
cancer. Give me your problem.
All right. People, listen to this.
Yes, Baba. Sorry.
Can you give me maybe 15 minutes to just explain this question? Just 15. Are you patient enough? Are you not tired? Muripano?
Are you here?
Okay. There is something that I'm not sure if we should do this today, but hear me. When you have a condition, number one, if it's a disease, any kind of an affliction that you are having in your body, let me start by showing you something critical. Knowledge that the healer must carry, not the one sick. If I start from there, you might think it's general knowledge, but it's not general knowledge. If you are a deliverer, you must know that you are not the captive. You are the deliverer. If you are the healer, you must have information. You must have knowledge which justifies your position as a healer. I'm aware of that myself when I'm healing the sick by the power of God in me. I'm aware. Now, I know whilst I'm healing you by the power of God that I am not a victim. I'm not the sick. I'm not the captured. I am the deliverer. And what entitles me to that position to deliver you is knowledge that I have. I'm aware of my role in this universe. I'll come to diseases. I'm talking about that awareness of knowing who you are. You also, you must learn to separate yourself from what you are not, anything that you have in your body is with your body, and your body is not you. So if a disease is in your body and you are not your body, you are not the one seeking to be healed. It's your body. But the moment you say, I am sick, you have attached yourself to a condition that you are not having as a spirit. It's your body. Please get that. Get that. Get that. It's your body is having a problem. Our sister who is saying, I'm having a period pain, the one that spoke has never bled. But she was present and she witnessed as the body was going through a pain that comes with a certain time. So knowing how to report on behalf of your body and being aware that you are separate, you are not one with your body. That knowledge is what sets free the body. We'll come to other things. We'll come to other things. Right now, scientists are still trying to find the cure for HIV, for cancer. Imagine it's on record that in the United States of America, they are losing about 2,000 people. Last time it was like 1,600. It's almost 2,000 people that are dying every day because of cancer. Look at the number. Every single day. And the problem is, it's something that is alive in our bodies that we are not in control of. Yet God had given the body to us to control. Is there a way that you can control activities in your body? Yes. That's what I'm trying to do now, to explain to you how to do it. I'm trying to see whether you are ready for that or not. All this that I'm saying is trying to find whether this is the right time for the thing to be good. Because you want to go home. I'm a prophet, I know you. I know you. You want to go home. Are you aware of the management of the first ministry that God gave to you? Right now, you might be thinking of things that are very, very far away from you. You have got from 30 to 40 trillion cells in your body. Cells in your body. You are a sum total of a gathering, not just of cells, but of living organisms that are so alive to a point of being personalities. A cell is as intelligent as you are. You have a cell in your body which has a life. Its own independent life, where the cell can be alive and you are alive, and the cell can die and you still remain alive. You have, how do I explain this? If I say it in the wrong way, that's why I've got so many doctors surrounding me. They would help me after. You will come to my house and you will school me on that. Let me try to help some few people here. A cell in your body, if a person is having cancer, okay, and the cancer has now become like a tumor, like a growth, it means in that area, cells have gathered and cells are multiplying and cells are growing beyond control. What is it that was supposed to control the growth of the cell? Is it in your brain, or it is in the brain of the cell? Because your body cells in your body,
Some may call them soldiers in your body.
those individuals are like personalities. Let me present it to you like that so that you can comprehend. These are you have an audience of 30 to 40 trillion membership. It's a ministry that God has given you to govern. You are the president of such a population. And you need to know how to execute politics well in your own body so that your economy is not bankrupt physically. See, there are things about God that you need to know. There are things about you that the God in you needs to know. So, when you have this, because you can't have a cell that is intelligent and yet it doesn't know when a disease comes in. Once there is an infection, if something which is not your body enters into your body, it's a foreign body. It's a body, but foreign. It's a body that doesn't belong in this body. Your cells are intelligent enough to know that we have a trespasser. How do they know? Before the arrival of the virus into the body, cells were moving. They are in a constant movement. They are moving up and down. When they bump against each other, it's a moment of fellowship where they get to know each other. They know each other by name, by size, by shape. To a point where if something strange gets into the body and they bump into something that they have never touched before, they are intelligent enough to know that a virus has come in. So they are intelligent. Not only as intelligent as you are, they are as alive as you are. Meaning that a cell has its own respiratory system. Cells breathe. Your cell is breathing. What a cell in your body is doing, a cell in your body is waiting for you to breathe. When you breathe, kungozvita kubva uchizvarwa kusvika wachembera hapana nombokumisa kubvunza muri kuitei muri kungofemereka.
You have been breathing ever since you were born. Nobody asks you
Iwewe
what
wacho
you're
you
doing.
never sought to know kuti ndiri kuitei. And it's not something that you can stop doing and then you still survive. You die. But when you take in whatever it is that you are taking in, you must understand that the audience yako uri kutosurvive on export and import.
Understand that you're
As
surviving
an
from export
economy.
and input from your audience.
Bhodha rako iroro rikangovharwa chete, ma-citizens 40 trillion citizens will perish. So they are waiting for what the government is bringing in for their survival. So a cell iri kufanira kuti ikareceive oxygen.
Once the cell receives oxygen,
When a cell receives oxygen, it is going to convert that oxygen into energy. Wotove upenyu hwecell.
and it becomes the life of the cell.
Iwo wafema cell iri mauri inofanira kufemawo sewe kukopa muridzi.
Once you've breathed, even the cell in you should also breathe.
Ndizvo. But kuti cell irarame iri kuda oxygen.
For the
Kuti
cell to
oxygen
be
iuye
alive,
unofanira kufema. Kana
requires
oxygen
oxygen.
yapinda cell iri kufanira kufemawo futi oxygen. Oxygen iye ndio yobva yaita energy. Muri kubata zvakanaka?
Once the
Tichiri
cell
tese so far.
receives the
Aiwa, tichiri tese so
oxygen
far.
becomes energy. Are we together?
Andofunga wakaenda kuchikoro munoziya vaiti mitochondria. Nai. Mitochondria. Pana umwe wakamboinzwawo.
Those that went to school,
Okay, all right. So, ngatiti pane chinhu chaakuitika chiri wrong pakufema kwako kana pakufema kwecell.
let's say there's something wrong happening in your breathing or in the breathing of the cell.
Iyoyo oxygen yawafema yakagadzirwa naMwari zvakanaka.
That
zvokuti
oxygen that you have
wakaifema,
breathed has been created by God
iyo
properly.
ikafemiwa futi necell.
And it has been breathed
Cell
by the cell.
ikaconverta energy, oxygen iyoyo into energy.
And the cell converts
It's the
that
kind of
oxygen into energy.
is the kind of energy that a cell is able to control when it comes to the growth of the cell. The energy that comes from oxygen that you have breathed in, the energy that comes from oxygen into the cell, is the kind of energy that the cell is capable of managing in terms of its own growth. Hear this. You notice from most of my studies that they have done that the number one food for cancer, greatest, the most favorite food for cancer is sugar. Glucose. 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 Sugar. Whoever has cancer that he cannot control, if you start controlling your sugar intake, there is a suffocation of the cancer cell. Hear me on this one. Hear me on this one. Hear me on this one. Food. When the respiratory system of the cell is damaged, the cell is no longer waiting for the oxygen that is coming in through breathing so that it converts that into energy. The cell is no longer having access to the oxygen that is coming as you breathe. Are you following? Yes. What is happening now is that as you take in a lot of sugar, I know some of you love sweets. Sugar. It is proven by scientists, doctors can confirm that as a cancer cell will eat 100, 200, even up to 300 times. It takes in glucose 300 times more than a normal cell. The desire that you are having is, I'm not saying everyone who is eating sugar will have cancer. Please don't get me. I said just in 15 minutes. I'm trying to help you. But if you have got cancer and you are taking in a lot of sugar, the majority of that glucose, that sugar, is being consumed by the cell that you want to die. Cancer cells, they feed on sugar. All right. So what are they doing? They are now receiving, there is oxygen that comes not from the air. There is oxygen that comes from sugar, which is bad for the cell. There is oxygen that comes from the sugar, and it's converted into energy by the cell, and it's coming from the sugar. Two sources of oxygen. It's either you are breathing it, and then the cell receives the oxygen, and then it makes it into energy, and then it can survive. It's the energy that it can regulate. But then, when you are no longer, when the cell has been damaged and it cannot breathe properly, it's in a survival mode. It is now getting energy from the sugar, okay? Oxygen from the sugar, and it converts it into energy. Now it's feeding on the sugar, and this is what is happening now. This is why I don't know if I'm right, Doc. There are times when doctors recommend what they call ketogenic diet.
Yes, it's true, man of God.
Ketogenic diet, right?
Yes, ketogenic
It's
diet.
a diet that they recommend, which is going to help you regulate not just your sugar levels. Hear this. These are foods that you need to be aware of. Maybe it's butter, seeds, even meat. What you're trying to control there is your protein. Protein has to be medium. Carbohydrates, low. You have to go to low as possible. As low as possible. Why do they call it ketogenic? Because of the ketones. It's a replacement in your body of oxygen, the energy that you are receiving. There's a time when your body requires more glucose than the energy that you are breathing in. Okay? You are breathing in energy. Okay? Or sometimes you eat sugar, and there's a time when that sugar is in short supply. Okay? If it becomes too much, there is insulin. You know that my blood pressure. Regulate sugar.
That's where the problem is,
But
in
if the
regulating the
ketones
sugar.
are okay, it's a natural way of survival, where your liver is producing those enough ketones, which is needed even by your body, where you can survive even with less sugar, natural sugar. But with ketones, it's as good as you have sugar in your body. But for that to rise up, there is special food that we're supposed to be eating, that we are no longer interested in. This is why our forefathers never had these problems. Why? Because they were not feeding the cancer cell that we are trying to kill. The problem with some of us people, we think food that is good, it only has to be tested and be judged according to the mouth. There is something that you eat, it's not good for your mouth, yet it is so good for your body. Your entire body is celebrating. So you see now cells are multiplying, cells are growing, they are receiving oxygen from sugar that you have taken into your body. And what does that sugar do? It ferments. There's fermentation of sugar in your body, and because of that fermentation, oxygen is created and it is consumed by the very cells that you want to starve to death. Most of the growths that we have in our bodies, if a study is to be done, you will notice that most of the sugar that you're consuming is going to feed and promote the growth of any lump that you might have. If it's cancerous in your body, it's feeding from sugar. Just the management of sugar. We are consuming sugar like it's manna. We like it. And I know some people might wonder, but if you don't have enough glucose, how can you survive? What really are you doing? What work are you doing? Where you need glucose, a lot of it. Like this generation, you see people with these energy drinks everywhere. They are drinking like with the bread, like. When you see that and you know what is happening, you know people are dying. That's deadly. Deadly poison. It's energy for what? I'm coming here without drinking tea, no suds and nothing, and I pray for all of you, and I go home. And I'm sitting and people are coming to see me there, and then maybe I will sleep 2 a.m. or so. By the time that you are tired being prayed for, I'm still fit. I haven't taken a lot of sugar. What is happening? There is natural sugar already. The ketones are, God had a way of doing it. Please listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. You get tired when you tell yourself that you need rest. I have to look at my watch to know that I'm tired. That's how I know I'm tired. How many times do I eat a day if I'm at home? She will tell you it's once. Not that they don't prepare, breakfast is prepared, is ready. No one eats it. Lunch is prepared, no one eats it. I can tell you how to defeat diseases just by paying attention. Most of the diseases that we are having right now, these are diseases that we inherit. How is it that someone with a cancerous gene, you know it's hereditary, right? Some people can actually inherit it. You can have it from your father and so on. But how come there are people with that cancer gene and yet they cannot have cancer? Do you know that all of you people here without cancer, some of you here without cancer, if tests are to be conducted on you right now, they will find in your body, in your blood, what they call driver mutations. Driver mutations is your capacity to have cancer. It's running through your lineage. It was given to you by your forefather to have cancer, but how come you don't have cancer? So though you have it already, cancer present in your body, if you know how to manage your diet, you can starve the cancer activities. No, I don't know if people are following what I'm saying.
Thank you, Baba.
It's food. 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 The day that we will go back to our natural foods, we will start losing most of these diseases. They are coming from the At home, we eat fish, but it is the fish that we keep, that we eat. At home, we eat chickens. Ihuku dzarerwa naadzimai vangu.
There are chickens that have been bred by
Dzine
my
birth
wife.
certificate inozikanwa payakazvarwa.
They have death certificates. They are known when they were born.
All right. It's something that simple. Where if you make a decision today, you must have at your place, this is why you should have a property where you have space at the back of the yard. It's a garden. You must have your own garden.
Have your own garden.
Just for the
vegetables, not to
regulation
sell.
of your body, so that you eat well. Natural stuff. All right. This is the problem. Unogona kuti prophet mukutaura izvozvo isu tina ana mbuya vari kumusha
Can
vari
say
kungorwara
prophet.
vane mabp waya nechii
You're saying that we've got grannies that in the
vari
rural
kumusha
area.
vachidya zvekuno. All right,
And the rural area, and yet they are
ndikandikubatsire
eating wrong food.
It takes, that's why maybe I needed a lot of time really to work on this. The problem is we drive and we go to the remotest places. But we are not good now at adapting to that environment. We carry our own food from here. In that remotest place, you'll find there is a tuck shop there. And they are selling foods that are coming from here. What they are cooking there and they are frying and so on, go and investigate. You will see they got it from here. It's not natural. Our forefathers never had it, not because their God was powerful. No. They had access to the right foods. Right foods. Remember, most of them were surviving on eating red meat. But doctors today can tell you red meat is dangerous. Are they lying? They're not lying. Our fathers were eating red meat. If we eat red meat, now doctors are saying it's dangerous. It's the difference in the meat. That's the issue. Their meat was uncontaminated meat. It was real meat. There was no medication in the meat. No my injection, I'm domain. Avet. Mombe aidyiwa na sekuru wako ni warudya dzakasiyana.
The cow that your father used to eat and the one that you are eating, they are different.
So mwanogona kuti ane diet yekungoti sa prophet kana mati red meat nechi inga irikonzeresa red meat yacho yarerwa yakurira kupi.
The red meat, where is
Saka
it from?
uchaona
Where
kuti
was
unofanira
it
kunge
bred?
uine mbudzi dzako, mombe dzako, hapana chinomborambidza izvozvo. Zvinomonitwa makurire adzo. Anogona kunge ari mavheji emugarden.
It could be veggies that are in the garden,
But asiri natural.
and yet they are not natural.
Chemicals that you use, muchispreya, zvinobhururuka nezvinodi, some of that stays in the vegetables. And when you are eating my vegetables, you are not just eating my vegetables, including the chemicals. Mombe dzimwe dzinobaiwa injection. Kune vanhu unoona wanazema unoona ubaiwa an injection every 6 months. The
Other cows
injections
are
like that.
injected, and when you
A
eat
person
that
you
meat,
can
it's
receive an
also
injection
contaminated.
in your body, which can stay there for 6 months. Some people can receive an injection. You cannot be pregnant for a certain period of time. This goes to show the presence of a chemical in the body. So imimba mruzoti taura ya mombe. Inotombozikana kuti yakabaiwa rini?
When you then eat, do you know when it was injected?
It's a chemical in the body which was good for the cow. Haina kumbonovhetwa kuti isvike uko. Dai anga ari mavheji omumunda tinotoziva kunzi takaisa roga. Ingomirira yasvondo tikudiridza saka mushonga pane pasisina. But this is something in the body, in the blood.
It has been injected, and you are eating something which has
And
entered into the
cattle are
blood.
being slaughtered every day. Hapana history yeutano.
There's no health history.
Ikatorwara inourayirwa izvozvo. Tonzi kurumbidza isati yadi yafa.
Once it's sick, they actually kill it for that.
Chipata-pata kunoiruraya inosara yopondwa yakafa kudhara kunzi aiwa yazodai so. Amurizvona? That meat yakatoipa. And I've told you this before. Kuti yamuti HIV, BIV. Mombe dzine HIV.
Even the cattle has HIV.
HIV mombe na B zvinorevekwa.
Bovine.
Bovine, right?
Bovine.
HIV.
It's HIV.
Mombe dziri HIV positive.
Cattle are HIV positive.
Chirwere chiri mumombe, chiri muvanhu.
It's a disease in the cows, in the people as well.
Handida kuti unowana HIV from. Please.
I didn't say you get HIV.
You have to
from
explain. Ndiri kungoti dzakurwarawo semi.
I'm just saying they are also getting sick just like you.
Go for foods that are natural. Natural. Iwe unozviziva.
You know it.
Chero ukatora a natural tomato ukaricrasha ukarisa mubhodhoro.
Once you take a natural tomato, crush it
Ukarisiya
and you put it in a
patable,
bottle. Leave it on the table.
Inguva diki mazuva mashoma panenge pasina kumira zvakanaka ipapo.
In a very short time, you won't be smelling well.
But iri renyu ramunozoramba muinaro tomato sauce ichinodzoka uchichimbokanganuka kusvika mufiriji but kuora iore. There is something in there
Look at your tomato sauce.
There is something
Keep
that
it for
they've
so long
put-
it doesn't rot.
which has now prolonged the life. Don't like it because it has lived long. It's a sign that it's not real. It's a sign that it is not real. Kana wakangwara itodya zvinhu zvinokurumidza kutoshata.
If you are clever, eat things that are quick to rot.
What is it that is giving stubbornness to that food? Normal meat, when it's put in a can, it has to rot. But 3 years, 4 years later, you still have meat. But anyone who preaches success and prosperity, vanhu vanofunga kuti zvino satani mukati. But tarisa kuna satani kwacho.
Look where the devil is coming from. Whoever preaches about prosperity, you think there's a devil in it.
Iro sadza iri remhodzi iri.
Even the
Mapfunde
sadza.
zviyo. It's good. Good. It's good. Nantomboda kuriona because handidi.
As for me, I
Rinake
just
rine
don't like it.
mavhuvhuti dzimwe nguva mune mavhuvhuti. Ha!
Sometimes it
Emavu.
is sent.
Kus. It's something that you can start to do now and just say, "Wamanofunga kushaya faith."
Something,
Kuramba uri
Lack of
very
faith.
strict, ungona kuti chazodai so ndakuzodya zvakati zvadai ungodya chero. Please, your body is the temple of God. Food is killing you. Most of these diseases, you will notice from today, if you change your eating habits, you will notice some changes in your disease, a disease that you thought you had. I'm telling you this. So the problem with all of these other medications that we try and use, you know what we're trying to do? We are trying to kill the cell that is growing out of proportion. But at the same time, the medication that you have introduced into the body is going to tamper with normal cells. Trying to deal with, when you have got terrorists that have hijacked a plane, and their passengers. You know that if there were no passengers, it would be easy to destroy them. You just shoot the plane. And they would not even hijack it when it's just themselves. You destroy the plane, they are destroyed. But because there are people, innocent cells in that same body, your approach towards that hijacker, you have to be critical, because whatever you introduce into the plane, you might hurt the innocent people, passengers that are there. That's the problem now. You have got an activity, a cancerous activity in the body, but it doesn't mean every other cancer is having that same problem. Yet when we introduce medication into that body, it's an entirely new disease. And honest doctors can tell you that 50% of people that have received chemo, they've died. And it's known cancer patients, 60% of them, they die as a result of medication, not the cancer. Because in trying to deal with one guy that has taken over the plane, you have to introduce a chemical into the entire plane. Everything goes wrong and the hair is falling and the weight, you're losing it, and all because of a chemical in your body. We have too much chemicals in our body. It's too much. So if you are healing a person, if you are a healer, this is the knowledge that I have when I'm healing the sick. If you are a healer, you must be able to heal people in more than 3 places. 3 places. If a healer heals you in one place, he has not healed you enough. The first place, if I'm to come to you and heal you, let's say you have got a disease in your body, right? And I must have a way of having access to that affected place. And when I heal you from the disease, that's the number 1 place where I have healed you. And people can be healed in that place, but you are not yet whole. You are healed. You can lose your disease. Maybe it was a leg, maybe it was your back, and the pain is gone. Right? You are healed, but it's just from one place. What is the second place? I must be able to go as far as your brain. If I cannot heal you again of the same disease from your brain, you are not wholly healed. What do I mean by that? Healing of the brain. If your car shows a red light, engine check light, you know it, right? maybe the filters are worn out. Okay? Or maybe the belt or something is gone and there is a light. Tutu, tutu, tutu. It's telling you, please, have me serviced. If you take it for a service and they change everything, they might say your car is ready. If you come and you get your car, you might realize that the light is still on. And you say, how come the light is still? They will tell you, we have to erase it. They put it back to the machine and then they delete the brain of the vehicle. So I'm talking about the healing in your body. Even after you are healed and the filters are changed. If we cannot have access to your program, where we can locate a place in your brain responsible of that transmission of pain. I told you you are tired already, that's why. So, you can still have a disease that you no longer have in your back. You now have it in your mind. There is a time when the place, if it was a knee that was giving you pain, there was a time when pain was coming from the knee, being communicated to the brain, and there's a time when you are healed from the knee, and the pain is being communicated from the brain to the knee. And if that light is not switched off, everyone that sees you, even yourself, there is an indication that you still have a disease and yet you have recovered. Your filters are new. What is happening? This is exactly what happened when Peter had already healed the man at the beautiful gate. The man could not walk before his healing, and the man still could not walk after his healing. Until Peter had to stretch forth his hand and grab him because he is not aware.
And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up.
No.
And immediately,
And then immediately,
his feet and ankle bones received strength.
Sit down. He did not recover when he was lifted up. It was a realization. Peter had noticed that this man, at the first stage, I've already healed him. But there's still this engine check light. And he's grabbing him so that this man can come to that realization that you have already been made whole. So, number one place, your body. You need to be healed from that disease in your body. Number two, you have to be healed mentally. You need to be told that you are no longer sick. And you can argue with that for as long as you want. The preaching that we do in church, that's exactly what doctors are doing. It's the same preaching. If they tell you that you have got cancer, even if you don't have cancer, you die from cancer. If you go back and they tell you that we can no longer see any traces of cancer, you start recovering from that day. The mind. And from the mind, the third place, I have to heal you in your body, heal you in your mind, and I have to go as far as healing your environment. By healing your environment, we are healing the waters of Jericho that are bitter. Because what made you sick was your contaminated atmosphere. We are breathing chemicals everywhere. So healing must go as far as healing people in their body, healing their minds, and healing the economy of the nation. Because people will still be made sick by their atmosphere. You can be raised by God to heal any of these three. But people might not see how you do it when you are healing an environment. The poison was in the water. People were sick. Actually, if you look into history, people in Jericho were sick because of the water. So they were getting their diseases from what they were drinking. you can recover physically, mentally, and you walk back into an atmosphere which is sick. And you will have the disease again given back to you. Let's put our hands together for the Lord. You can do better. Put your hands together for the Lord. It's a mental revival. It's a mental healing. Huh? It's a mental healing. Uchibva pano,
As you leave this place,
dzidza chikafu chako.
learn your food, study your food.
Mama once showed me a video of one of our sisters over there where she was doing some programs on food.
Are you still doing
Yeah,
it?
you. Magaregedza.
I'm no longer doing it.
Uraisa vanhu.
Causing people to die.
It's a preaching without a sermon. And everything that you were teaching there is correct. It's accurate. What are you going to be?
Ask the person next to you, what are you eating this evening?
Every
Lack
time
appetite.
when I look at my wife, how she's very, very careful. Avangotanga nokushama wachikanda chikafu.
She doesn't start by just opening the mouth and throwing
She
in some
takes her
food.
time. She knows everything that she's eating. Ne detail. Usamboita mistake yekubvunza.
Don't ever make a mistake of asking.
Kana unenge wari kumhanya itombogara.
If you are rushing somewhere, you have to wait.
So she tells me I'm able to have a body of my choice. If she wants it big, she can have it. If she wants it anyhow, it will. I don't want to pay 3 days. That must control over your own body. And it's something that can be explained. Mama Jagunza want to lecture panapa. Nechinyora vachitaura.
Some of these jargons I'll be writing down when she's...
Apa matigudi tozoya nazo
Talking.
panapa.
Then I bring
Nokwara.
here.
But just imagine, she is so close to the healing power, yet she is careful. How about you? Iwe uri kure nechipatara iwe.
You are far away from the hospital.
It's something, I know this thing really is from God. Most people, what I'm seeing, if you were standing here looking at the face, you can see that people were eating anyhow. And uriyasoona maziso evanhu kuti pana ajekerwa panapa kuti.
You can see from the
Marwari
eyes
raya.
that their eyes are open.
Yes, zvinooneka.
You can see it.
Unoziva kuti environment ukada kunoitsvaga uchaona kuti
You know that when you go and look at the environment,
Pastor, man of God, when you study, if you see when they invented the bulb, it was easy for them to make sure that the filament gets heated. So the light would be produced by the bulb. Because you are having power getting into the bulb and then it starts to shine. But it would not last because of oxygen. Now, in the environment of oxygen, that filament would not last. Because of the process of oxidation, it goes on, and because of the environment, it dies down. It will just crack into pieces. So all they managed to do was to create a glass which has nothing to do with the light. And they were able to extract oxygen out of that glass, so that when the filament is heated outside of oxygen, it keeps on burning and burning and burning, simply because they've managed to manipulate and create an atmosphere for the filament to live longer. It's the same technology that happened to the burning bush. The miracle was not that it was burning, but it was because it kept on burning. So God did something to the environment around the bush. Now the problem with the bulb is you have to make sure that you keep your wires to the battery so that it keeps burning. You remove the batteries, it goes off. So there must be a continuous supply of power to the filament, even though it is in the right environment. Even Moses' bush, God did not light it from heaven. That's why he spoke from the bush. There was a direct connection to the battery. It kept on shining, burning, not being consumed because of the atmosphere around that God had. That's why even God never wanted Moses close. It's a different atmosphere where things burn forever. Things burn forever. And God was actually created. That miracle is a big miracle because, if you go underground, if you are a miner, the deeper you go, you start to lose oxygen. The best way for you to know, light on the matches. Switch on matches. You won't have a flame where you don't have enough oxygen. That's how you know that where I've gotten to now, I'm about to die. Yet in Moses' case, I can keep on talking about that. God has had a way of making sure there wasn't enough oxygen to make sure the bush keeps on burning, and there is enough oxygen to make sure the light keeps on what? Burning. But this is to show that environments can give you a longer lifespan. Environment. Your environment. Even the right food that you think is natural, you are getting it from where? From Sika and so on. And who is selling that? You can only trust what you have grown. What you have watched growing, that would also watch you as you grow. Be a partaker of the growth of your environment. As in
Just put vegetables around.
isaimbabaira kumusha
Put sweet
ndobasa
potatoes.
rakuruzevha
Just
ingonocheresa tsime paruzevha kongo mavheji achingouya pasvondo
go and
pasvondo
dig a well and then bring some veggies every week.
izvozvo chemical yaunoshandisa pamavheji first of all ingoitora uendese kulab iyi chemical yakanyakire chii inorarama mushizha for how long, so that pauri kuti ndiri kudya zviri natural zvese zviri natural.
So that you make sure whatever you're eating, when it's natural, it's truly
We are
natural.
feasting on death. But vamwe mubhaibheri vakagona kuchemera muprofita vakati aiwa maita rufu mupoto
So they
maita
cried
rufu
unto the
mupoto
prophet and said, "There's death in the pot."
havana kumbochemera kuministry of health vakachemera muprofita
Never
vakati
cried at
maita
the minister
rufu
of
mupoto.
health. They went to a prophet.
Nozonzwa vamwe vanenge vakuti komana maprofetsi itai zvekuprofita
Some would say,
itai
"Prophet, why don't you
zvekuparidza
just
zvebhaibheri chete
prophesy?"
izvi mutisiyire vakachema vati
everything else.
muprofita maita rufu.
These ones in the Bible, they said, "Prophet, there's death in the pot."
It was the prophet who healed the waters of Jericho. I'm healing your atmosphere, your environment now. ndosaka kana ndichitaura nyaya yekuti Mwari akusumudze, Mwari akuropafadze, tikutota nomwoyo wese.
This is why when I'm talking about God transforming you, I'm doing it from my heart.
Haufanire kugara kumaraini kwekuti unotadza kana kujoga kuseni.
Don't just stay at a place where you don't even jog in the morning.
Kune vanhu marare muno vari kugara kunzvimbo dzekuti anotobuda neiPhone yake, zvimwe zviri munzeve, zvimwe zviri kumezha rope, anobuda nazvo akadzoka nazvo zvakakwana.
There are places here in Harare, people go out with all gadgets and goes out with them and come back with them without being stolen.
Environments. Kwazwa takuzvitaura kudai so Mwari watokusunungura kare kuenvironment iyo.
When you hear me talk about it like this, God has already delivered you from that environment.
Utano
Health
unodiwa.
is required.
Ndizvo ka?
Is that so?
Hazvireve kuti hauna zodzo.
It doesn't mean don't have an anointing.
Ndinaro.
I have an anointing.
Ava dokta vanoziva muviri wangu.
The doctor here knows about my body.
Chiremba vari papa.
The doctor here,
Vese vari tuwa. Vanoda
these two
kukutsanirana.
doctors.
Ndonamata kupfuura imi.
I pray more than all of you.
Please change your eye.
I want you to be careful.
Change your eye.
Be careful.
Yes, namatai, tsanyai, itaiso,
Pray,
but
fast.
wisdom. That's why ukananda kuyanchukudza zvakati andiudze vanhu zvinhu zvandisingaiti.
When you see me coming, telling you this and that, I don't tell people things that I don't
There
do.
is a way that you can defeat diseases and afflictions from your body. Make use of that knowledge. Make use of that information. Vana vamazuva vanosvika pakutongopfimbana kutongoroorana hapana kana kuchipatara kwamboenda kana
Children of this
zvinhu
day,
zviri as basic as that.
They even
Nothing.
get to a point of getting married without even going to be tested at the hospital.
Chato cheto rungofunga muchato.
All they are thinking is just a wedding,
Nevhenyu nderi kunetsa.
even the venue.
Zvinhu zvinokorekitika zvikuitika mubhodhi mako izvi.
There are things happening in your body that can be corrected.
It can simply be something that you are taking. It's a medication for something else that you keep on taking. Wotoona necycle yako semunhukadzi yachinja zvese zvavhiringidzika.
And you see, even as a woman, your cycle has changed.
But it's just something that you keep on taking that you are not even aware of. A doctor, not even a prophet, even a doctor can look at you and he can tell you, this is what you are doing wrong. Change your lifestyle here. Once you change there, you will begin to notice my changes in your body. Mwiri wako unofunga kuti waane infirmity, wakaneta, wakadi. Akomana.
The body that you now think is infirmity,
Akomana. Akomana. Muri kushandei.
what are you
Muri
going
kuda energy yei.
What energy do you desire?
Angana nafarira sugar bana.
How many are here that like sugar?
Yeah, thank you. Makatendeka.
You are faithful.
Chiremba sugar yakanaka here.
Doctor, is sugar good for us?
Thank you for the brilliant teaching, Baba. Everything you said is spot on.
That's right.
Yes, sugar no not driver.
Vai
Cells
vai
anodimanda
tanga.
energy, anoda
Zvirimo.
sugar. Cancer.
Go ahead, doctor. That's not here. Yakachinitaudza.
No, I was just saying thank you for the brilliant lecture. Everything was spot on. My cancer cells are not driver on sugar.
Cancer
No
cells
energy
drive on
yawo
sugar.
and are not demand kupfuura the natural cells.
They demand more than the
And
natural cells.
mataura kuti up to 300 times the demand yema-cancer cells to the normal cells. That's it. That's brilliant. Thank you very
So
much.
you will actually be, by taking more sugar, in a cancer. By taking more sugar, you are actually feeding the cancer cells. Ndaraba akona kutaura. Utopa ma-cancer cells food yakutoda yacho iyoyo. But it's
Actually
not just
feeding
with
the
that.
cancer cells.
With so many other issues, you can regulate. Like I told you before, ndikati chakuudza kuti blood pressure inocontrolwa sei.
I told you that I'll tell you how blood pressure is controlled.
Yatende umba.
I need to go home now.
Chazoda mama mozo ngopota mchi. Tozomboita ka talk kumbopinda muzimba zevanhu tongosvika.
Momo should do a
Panguva
tour, just
yekusvika
visiting
bye
people
bye.
in their houses.
Tongoti pfacha.
We just arrive
Makuda kunodya.
just before you eat.
Chimwe chikafu chinonzi tingabikira vaenzi chikafu chaka ndo chine utano kazhinji.
The food that you say we don't cook for the visitors, that's the food with health.
Akomana handei
Let's go.
tonotakura miriwo mashizha kubva kumisha.
Bring some
Toadyira
vegetables from
muchirungu.
the raw areas and
Uri
eat them in
magetsi
the
makati ngwee, malights mamwe blue, mamwe orange.
where there are all sorts of different lights.
Uchidyira madora handizodyi zvangu. Madora anonaka here madora.
Very nice.
Ndakadyirwa dzinonzi dzawakadya musi uye. Iwe uyu akadya namakwanya. Dzinonzi zi? Harurwa.
Pane masnacks anonzi
Aiwa.
harurwa.
Harurwa. Hey. Vaitodzidya vari tu namakwanya achinokora mulunch box kudai.
They were eating from their lunch box.
Pavana vangu ndinauya kuona akafarira madora stereki.
Of my children, I didn't see those that like.
We don't
the
like
Mupani
eating
ones.
worms. Don't like eating worms. Adzimai angu anodya madora. But vanozati vakangoadya madora 1 week no kiss.
My wife eats Mupani worms. But I've said to her, once you eat them, for the whole week there will be no kiss.
Vangana vanofarira madora.
How many like Mupani worms?
Mwari ngaakubatsirei.
God bless you.
My Father, allow me. Your name and the name of your God has spread far and wide. We have people from various places that have come to just experience your touch. By your grace, my Father, I pray. By your grace, we have people from the east, people from the south, people from the north. They are here, my Father.
Okay,
Please,
those
by your
ones.
grace.
It's okay, they can come. Let me pray for them as we go. The altar is open. The altar is open. The altar is open. All of you people that have come, you are carrying the blessing, the manifested blessing of God as you are going back. Okay? Whatever you desired from God, whatever you wanted from God, God has granted it to you. All of you people that are here, next week, patinodzoka panapa ndoda kunzwa vanhu
When we come here next week,
vachatiudza musi weSunday kuti during this week
I want people that will tell us on Sunday
chirwere
that
chako chaenda.
your disease has left you.
Manzwa?
You hear me?
Sunday unongochitaura kuti chakaguma Tuesday, chakaguma Wednesday,
On
and
Sunday,
sisina
you're telling
problem.
that, you're telling
You'll
us that
never
the
see it
disease
again.
departed on
Do you
Tuesday,
believe
Wednesday.
that? Do you believe that? Alright, choir tipei new song timbofara vanhu vachipemberera pandongopedza kunamatira vana.
Give us a
Mofamba
song.
zvenyu muchiuya. Saturday, please, Saturday there is a program iri kuzivikanwa nemwana wese weministry
Program
in.
that is known
Uyai
by every
naamai
child.
ku Life Haven, ku Mount Abden. There's a
This ministry,
good program
bring
for you,
your
so let's
mother
meet
to
there.
Life Haven.